Welcome to Humble Time Timid Rookie Year 2025. Get ready for that which is coming. We're ready for you. So I told myself that if we can get to 500 subscribers, what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start doing a weekly live session. That way we can get everybody who's actually supporting us and moving forward. We can get y'all in on the discussions as we do 'em. You know. Now that doesn't mean that we're not gonna do other content as well, but we get to 500 subscribers, we're gonna do a live weekly. That way we can invite y'all to give y'all's input and y'all's opinions on things just as well. Now, nothing says that I'm always right, and I'm always welcome to open conversation, open dialogue. Okay, so thank y'all for joining me as we get ready to kick off this new year. We're just at the end of 2024. 2025 is about to begin. We got a lot to talk about. Just in the past week, so much has gone on. But we're only going to touch on a few topics today. So let's get ready. Let's get it going. Humble, not timid. Another voice, another choice.
Getting mad at me, player, but they ain't taking my place. And I'm a misbreed, homie, so they hate my race. Or maybe I'm just ugly, so they hate my face. Either way it go, homie, take the hating away. Now I'm suited in my armor, and I'm just ready to play. So now put me in coach, cause I'm just ready to game. See, I'm so drunk, I ain't going nowhere. I'm so drunk, I'm right here, right here. I'm so drunk,
Last week, the U.S. reported its first severe case of bird flu found in a patient in Louisiana. For more, we're joined by Dr. Leana Wen. She is the former Baltimore Health Commissioner. Dr. Leana Wen, it's great to have you with us. So, bird flu. Is this report out of Louisiana worrisome? And if so, why?
Well, it's one more sign that the drumbeat of bird flu coming closer to humans is becoming a major threat. So we've already seen this year that there have been a number of mammalian species close to humans that now have bird flu outbreaks. We have outbreaks in poultry in all 50 states. 16 states have outbreaks in cattle. In California, in the last 30 days, there have been more than 300 herds that tested positive. And now we have 66 cases of bird flu in humans. And this is almost certainly a significant undercount because we have not been doing nearly enough testing, so we really don't know the extent of bird flu that's out there in humans. But this particular case, it's someone who is severely ill, but not only that, researchers have isolated the virus in this individual who is sick in Louisiana, and they found that this particular strain of the virus appears to have acquired mutations that make it more likely to bind to airway receptors. Bird flu has been around for a long time.
About 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. But it hasn't been a major issue in humans because while it spreads among birds, it hasn't really spread among mammals. But now there is this mutation. And there's another concern now, major too, which is that we're in flu season. And it's possible that a single person could have bird flu and seasonal flu at the same time.
Something called reassort.
Okay, so so you seeing them talking about this bird flu that it's supposed to be real dangerous all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Now the timing is funny to me, and we have to look at the real situation. Now, I mean, it could be something real serious. We need to be real careful about what we're gonna do going forward in 2025, because we really don't know exactly what's gonna happen. And as we all know, we didn't look back at the COVID pandemic and come to find out exactly how humans had a big role to play in how that all played out. They wanted you to believe that it was evolution and this disease just all of a sudden mutated and jumped into humans. But the reality is Dr. Fauci and other members had a real big role to play in how this virus was transferred into humans. And you see what happened there. 2020, we had a big epidemic. I mean, in the blink of an eye, the world changed, like overnight. I mean, we're still feeling the effects of the way that single virus just changed the face of the earth. And now we got this bird flu. Okay, now I went to go look it up because you heard him sit there and say that it's only been around for 30 years, but the reality of the situation is just even with a quick little search and you know research on it, the earliest going back was about 1878 is when they had the real first bird flu, and and they call it avian influenza. Okay, it was called the foul plague. Now they changed it to the avian influenza around 81. That way, I don't know. I guess just to change the way it was called. That way, it wasn't just for the birds. It was because foul is the birds. Now she is true, and it is true up to that point. Up until about 97 is when the first human case actually happened. Okay, and that was supposed to be in Hong Kong. Okay, now think about that. You got from 1878 when this disease started. We started noticing this disease in birds. There was outbreaks and things were happening, and then to 1997, all of a sudden it starts affecting humans. Okay, now over the past few years, and what really kills me is the timing. The timing is what really is getting me because we're seeing the changes in the administrations. I think there's a lot of people who are scared at the fact that the people really wanted change of the direction that our country was going. And our country is very powerful. Our country is powerful because of the people, because the people really do want to have our country. And even though we are for immigration. I mean, we're a land of immigrants. But at the same time too though, we fight for our country. And then when people come here, they might come here from other places, but they become Americans. And when they become Americans, then we become America. And we actually fight for our country and for our rights and our way of living and everything. Yeah, you have different cultures, but in the end of it all, America has its own culture. Good or bad, bad history we've had, but yet we're still American. That's all there is to it. I know a lot of people don't like that, but if you don't like it, leave. It's still a free country at this point. You can get up and you can leave. That's just the truth about it. But you're not going nowhere. We know that. But now back to this bird flu, though. They sit there and they said that it's been around 30 years, but it's actually been around longer than that. It's just really started mutating into humans over the past 30 years, give or take. And that's the funny part about it. So, we'll go ahead and let them keep talking for just a second and see exactly where they're going
Bird
to go
flu
with this
and
stuff.
seasonal flu at the same time.
Something called reassortment,
That's right.
where
That's right.
things change because of one illness becoming another illness through reassortment of a mutated virus.
That's right. And so the viruses could exchange genes. You could develop a new hybrid virus. And if you now have a virus that's more contagious and causes more severe disease, that's when it becomes a major threat to humankind.
What should be happening in the Biden administration right now that isn't going on?
Yeah, there are two main things that they should be doing in the days that they have left. The first is to get testing out there. I feel like we should have learned our lesson from COVID that just because we aren't testing, it doesn't mean that the virus isn't there. It just means that we aren't looking for it. We should be having rapid tests, home tests available to all farm workers, to their families, for the clinicians taking care of them so that we aren't waiting for public labs and CDC labs to tell us what's bird flu or not. And the second very important thing is this is not like the beginning of COVID where we were dealing with a new virus, we didn't have a vaccine. There actually is a vaccine developed already against H5N1. The Biden administration has contracted with manufacturers to make almost 5 million doses of the vaccine. However, they have not asked the FDA to authorize the vaccine. There's research done on it. They could get this authorized now and also get the vaccine out and to farm workers and to vulnerable people. I think that's the right approach because we don't know what the Trump administration is going to be doing around bird flu. If they have people coming in with anti-vaccine stances, could they hold up vaccine authorization? If they don't want to know how much bird flu is out there? Could they withhold testing? I mean, that's a possibility. And I think the Biden administration in the remaining days should get testing and vaccines widely available so that at least it empowers state and local health officials and clinicians.
Now, you see this. First, we're going to go into this reassortment. Okay, so this reassortment, it really is a thing, the definition. You know, so it's a genetic recombination process that occurs when multiple viruses infect the same cell and exchange segments of their genomes. So pretty much, you know, you have two viruses that attack the same host, get inside the same cells, and then with both those viruses being within the same cells, it actually creates a new type of virus. They transform each other. Now, I do believe this is a thing. You know what I mean? And it's scientific. Let me say this. I'm a man of faith. I believe in God. Nobody's perfect. I get that. We're all what we are, and we just strive to be better. I do appreciate science, but God has given me the understanding that science is that which explains how things work, where faith explains why they work the way they work. Okay? Now, so the scientific part of it, yeah, reassortment is a thing. I can see how that could happen. But somewhere along the line, there had to be an outside force to make it to where a virus that only affected animals actually and not even mammals, but just fowls, just birds, actually went into mammals and somehow went into humans. There had to be some kind of catalyst there that made that happen. Okay. Now, and then you see her talking about the testing. Okay, so we need testing. We need testing. We need testing. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I never took the COVID vaccine, and I never. I think I've only taken one test, and that was I actually went to the doctors. I never even did when they did the mail-in testings. I never did all that. I went to the doctor and actually did one. Because honestly, I have this weird theory about when they mail you out the test that they're actually sending you the virus. So then that way it can spread faster. Think about it. We send out 1 million tests and 1 million people swab themselves. Boom, there it is right there. And all you need is one person in the household to swab their nose, and the next thing you know they're sick, and then the family's sick, and 3, 4, 5 people in the family sick, and then they don't even know they're sick, and then they go to school and everybody else sick, and boom, 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 man. You see how quick COVID spread. You know, you see her say that Biden actually worked with a couple people, a couple corporations to get 5 million doses of the vaccine prepared. Why did you do that? Unless you knew you were going to try to make a move to do something. See, the problem isn't going to be the people who can get the vaccines and get to the hospitals and all that and get treated for the disease. The problem is going to be a bunch of those people out there that can't get to it. I live in a city where you see homeless people every day. And I mean homeless. When I say homeless, we ain't talking about just, 5, 10 people running around the city and everybody know, hey, those the Johnny Bums on the block. Now, we talk about, they could probably fill up a little city by themselves. That's how many people you see out here. And when I used to live in Chicago way back in the day, man, there was tons of people out there on the streets. So one, they end up with the virus. Boom, that's going to spread super fast. And then they can't even get to the treatment. So that virus is just going to be lingering and doing whatever it's designed to do. Or replicate or whatnot, whatever. That's going to be dangerous. But why did you get 5 million vaccines ready? And then 5 million really, of course, isn't even a lot. I mean, you got cities here that are only 3 million. Well, Chicago is like 3 million by itself. Saying I think Dallas is what 1.5 million. Don't get me wrong, on the numbers, but that's only enough to cover a city. So you're really not even prepared for this. You're only prepared for a small portion of people to get fixed. But then why did you do that though? And now you want to send out tests. So, the virus is already out there. Yeah, I mean, you already got people sick, so we're gonna assume it's already out there. But and then I really think it's just it's a big old deal. It's like some kind of thing that they're gonna do to make a move. Because the timing alone is just freaky to me. They're gonna make a move and then they're gonna try to make it like, well, what can Trump do? And you see her, she already attacked Trump. She already attacked Trump on there talking about because somehow in their minds they have this thing that I guess he wants everybody to die. Now I hope I hope that's not true, but realistically, I don't think it is. I think if Kamala would have won, I don't think that we would even be talking about none of this right now. Just like a couple weeks ago, we go back and they were talking about how talking about the fracking, and all of a sudden, people are having problems with fracking again. Well, nobody even talking about none of that over the past 4 years when Biden was in the office and he was doing fracking. You know what I'm saying? Because see, that's what people don't realize. He was actually drilling too. You know, he wasn't drilling as much as Trump would drill, but he drilled too, and nobody came after him and said, "Hey, you need to shut that down." So whatever. But it's just all a ploy. That's what I mean. Now the disease is not a ploy. That's going to be something that we really got to take serious. People are going to have to really watch themselves and take care of themselves, take care of your kids. But then at the same time too, though, I really think it's a setup. It's a setup. You know, it's a setup, and they're gonna think they're slick. They're gonna think they're slick, and then they're gonna try to play it off on Trump and his administration because all of a sudden the vaxxers aren't gonna want nobody to get vaccinated. Y'all are the ones. Look, we're not mad if you want to get vaccinated. We mad if you try to make us do it without our consent. So you know what's that argument you've heard them say? Oh, so we're all about a bodily autonomy until it comes to vaccines. Then all of a sudden we have to do what you say. But so I mean, y'all want to go stick yourself with the needle? Go stick yourself. I ain't mad at you. Go stick yourself with the needle. You feel you need it, you need it. It is what it is. I'm not mad. I mean, you got to take a Tylenol, take a Tylenol. But I'm not gonna do it if I don't feel I have to. Now I know we're very small right now. The community of humble, not timid. We're not very big. I have about maybe 53, 54 of y'all subscribe to me. Not to mention those that are watching that don't subscribe. I understand. It's okay. It's cool. One of these days you're gonna hit that subscribe button, and we're gonna love you and appreciate you and welcome you to the fold either way. You know. But with the way that I do my show, I think one thing I've already come to realize and kind of understand is that with this show, I am probably not going to be end up monetized, but I am going to keep on gunning to grow. So we're going to grow, and I'm going to keep on doing the shows as long as I'm able to do the shows for y'all. And we'll see how the future goes. God willing, everything works out. It's all in His hands either way. But for those who do want to show support or whatnot, I do have merchandise that we are preparing and we're getting ready for. Some of it's already ready, and there will be more to come. And then you can go ahead and take a look at it and check it out. And if you like, go ahead and purchase you an item or two. If you have any ideas on an item you might want to see me try to make and put out, go ahead and do that too. I'm always welcome to it. And I'll try to see exactly what I can and can't do for you. But we do appreciate y'all who do show your love and all that. And go ahead and just reach out and show your support. Thank you once again. Most thing you can do to show your support is to take your time, leave your comments, leave your opinions, as well as whether you agree or you don't agree with me. That's okay and that's fine. I appreciate it either way. And at the same time, too, though, I thank you for taking the time to even listen and pay attention to us today. And we'll go ahead and we'll get back to the show. And I appreciate your patience.
Widely available so that at least it empowers state and local health officials and clinicians to do the right thing for their patients.
Dr. Nguyen, is bird flu in humans super dangerous?
Well, the World Health Organization estimates that in prior outbreaks of the bird flu, that the mortality rate is 52%. 52%. However, in this most recent outbreak, it seems that most cases have been mild, and maybe some people even have asymptomatic infection. But the question is, we don't know what happens when bird flu affects more vulnerable individuals. People infected so far in the U.S. have been mainly farm workers who are working, presumably generally healthy. as opposed to what happens when you get to children, to pregnant women, to older individuals with chronic illnesses. We don't know how deadly, how dangerous bird flu is going to be for those individuals. And again, that's one more reason why we don't want it to spread and acquire more mutations.
30 seconds.
Now,
Norovirus.
see, like even Tucker Carlson, he did an interview, I want to say about a week ago. Might have been a little bit longer than that. I might be wrong. But maybe 2 weeks ago. But he did an interview with a man named Jenner Furst. Okay, and Jenner Furst, he did a documentary over COVID. Okay, it was called Thank You, Dr. Fauci. And Furst goes into, I mean, you can tell the man went through a lot, just with the interview. That's not even watching the documentary, just the interview alone. You can tell that throughout the process of making this documentary, there's a lot of things this man done dug up that probably got to him. You know, he even says that at one point that he lost a lot of sleep doing this, you know. And throughout the documentary, he even mentioned bird flu at one point. He mentioned about how bad it could be and how it's actually going to be worse than COVID was. Like the mortality rate, just worse than COVID. But even at that, though, like he states in there, it's a lab designed bird flu. Because throughout the whole documentary, he explains how Dr. Fauci and all these other people were actually responsible for the I ain't gonna say making, but the twisting of the designing of COVID-19 and how it happened, and other diseases as well. But, like over the past 10, 20 years, whatever it is, 30 years, 40 years, these people ain't got power. And they got power to play God and try to, manipulate things. And the thing is why are you creating all these things to kill people? That's the big deal. That's the big question is why are you trying to kill all these people? Because they're trying to get rid of us. They're trying to thin out the herd. But, I'll give you a little clip of this real quick of them speaking about this. But even at that, though, man, it's very, very, very cynical. Very, 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 very diabolical. I ain't going to say cynical, but diabolical. It makes you wonder, and it makes you wonder. And there is things you can do. Like we did one thing. We put Trump in office. And with that, they're scared of him. And it's not even really him. It's not him. It's what putting him in office represents. Because, see, they thought they already had us at a point where that they could play us and try to be like, well, we got the people right where we want them. They're going to accept everything we do from this point on, and they're going to be okay with it, And they didn't think that, even your average Joe Blow guy or woman was smart enough to see through the dumb stuff. And I think even some of the people on their side is starting to be like, man, hold up a second, and you still got those that are over there fighting. They're like, no, they love us. Yeah, okay, if you think so, buddy, but, go ahead, because you got it. But here we go. I'll let you check this one out real quick.
What was this virus? Where did it come from?
I think that I want to give you an easy answer.
Yes.
But I don't think we're ever going to know exactly the moment that this virus emerged from a lab. But we do know that the virus did not emerge from the wet market in Wuhan, and that it didn't emerge in December. It likely emerged in August, and that it was the product of research that was funded by the United States. And the writing was on the wall that this research could have caused a pandemic for 5 years at least. And there were regulations in place not to fund this research that Fauci and others violated to fund this research.
Exactly.
So in that context, whether it got on someone's sleeve on their way to lunch or whether it was released intentionally, everything we know about this virus has been a lie. Research happened. There are more labs doing gain-of-function research right now. And one of the most frightening things that concerns me, and I believe is absolutely urgent right now, is that for the last 6 months, we all have seen reports about bird flu coming over naturally from cow milk, from a cat. There was a farm worker who got it. And call me a cynical person. The threat of bird flu, lab-generated bird flu, has existed since the study that Anthony Fauci conducted, funded with Ron Fouchier and Karaoke for 10 years. People have feared a bird flu coming out of the lab for 10 years. The wet market proved that you got to be a little bit sharper at a story of it coming from nature. And for 6 months now, we've seen story after story, isolated crossover. And it's not just from one source. It's coming from milk. It's coming from a cat, you know? To me, this is them sharpening the tool because it is absolutely inevitable that a bird flu will cross over into humans and it won't be natural. And the one we're going to be infected with is not going to be the one that infected the cat or the cow milk. It's going to be from a lab.
And do we have any sense of what the effect will be?
COVID changed everything about the world. And the fatality is like 1 to 3% max for a virus like COVID. For a lot, some people would argue it's under 1%. Bird flu is like straight down the middle. Doesn't matter if you're a kid or an elderly person. You're starting in ranges of like 10% to 50%.
Mortality?
Yes. Bird flu is way more lethal than COVID. Bird flu, when...
So you see him sitting here speaking about this bird flu, and he agrees it's going to be a deadly thing when it hits. But like he said, though, you see, it's not just one person coming out saying, "Oh, this isn't just me saying this or whatever." There's many other people out there speaking about this. These are just a few things that I'm pulling out. You can go and start looking into it if you haven't already, if you're not already paying attention. But they believe it's going to come out of a lab, which means that humans made this. Humans designed this. Now, whether it was us, China, Russia, whoever, whatever, Iran, whatever, whoever it is that decided they wanted to try to play God and make a weapon that could destroy and change the face of the earth, it's going to be man-made. And that's what they're trying to say is going to hit. And the timing is just amazing to me. It's amazing to me because, like, Trump hasn't even taken office yet, and yet Biden has already done a lot of things, and not just him, his administration, his team, his side. They've done a lot of things to try. It's almost like they're trying to crash the plane. The plane's flying, and you said, "Hey, you know what? We need another pilot to fly." So you get out the cockpit, and you say, "You know what? Since they didn't want me to fly no more, I'm just gonna start taking it towards the ground." It is what it is, you know. But like I said before too, though, I think this comes back down to, a globalization type of deal. They want to dissolve this country. This country is very powerful and very strong with the way we are, way we were, and they're gonna try to destroy it and bring it down, and then make it a world thing. For those of us that are believers, and we understand that at the end, there is that thing where it's said that you'll take the mark of the beast or whatnot, and I won't get into all that, but they'll control the food sources of the world and things like that. You won't even be able to buy commodities, anything like that. To me, it seems like these are the steps that are being made to make this process happen. So, we can sit here and we can say, "Oh, it's these evil people and whatnot, whatever." In the end of it all, to me personally, I always think everything comes back down to a spiritual problem. I always consider it a spiritual problem. That's just me. Y'all can look at it how y'all want. We can fight the bad guys. You can fight the bad guy or whatever, but it is what it is. And he continues to speak about a few different things throughout this interview. And, well, I'll show you a couple of other little clips here. But when it comes to these diseases, a lot of things are being done, and they're really being done by our own government and other governments. People who are in power, who have control, and really it's not even just the government, but the people who control the governments, So that is what it is, and we're going to have to do our best to protect ourselves. You got to protect your loved ones, protect your kids, and then just do as much as you can to move forward and stay alive and prosper in this world.
I thought this was a doomsday virus. Why are we doing this work? It is a doomsday virus. And keep in mind all of the transitions and shifts in power that occurred for a virus that was not a doomsday virus. What happens when there is a doomsday virus? Who's going to benefit? Who's going to lose? How much power is going to shift from an event like that? And you've got a situation now where all the people I just mentioned going to destabilize the FDA, going to destabilize the NIH, going to declassify all of the information that would prove a story that's incredibly damning for a lot of people, including pharmaceutical companies, nation states. You've got Donald Trump, who's not liked by a lot of the establishment and these bureaucracies that thrive on being insulated, in some ways more powerful than the president of the United States, some of the bureaucracies. And that's been proven through history multiple times. It seems like it would be a really great time for a distraction. And the risk is that we are going to suffer from another man-made pandemic before we figured out who's responsible for the last one. And it's going to hurt us so much that we won't even care.
Nah, I mean, I really don't even know what I can add more to what he just said there. I mean, truth be told, is he's right. It's a perfect time, and you know, we can sit here and be like, oh man, everybody, you know, we're seeing what they're doing, but then once they start killing everybody off, what are you gonna do? We're gonna be more worried about taking care of our families and trying to stay safe than doing all that, and there's nothing else you can do about it. So the reality of the situation is just that. You know, he's right. If this is a doomsday type of level thing that's about to happen, and we don't know, you know, it's all alleged. It's all alleged. So, you know, it could just blow off into the wind, and it could just be a few people get sick, and then next thing you know, it is what it is. They wait it out and see what happens coming in the future. But if it does end up being worse than COVID, there's really not much we could do as people. Well, I mean, it would take everybody to step up and really just fight this fight in order to stop it. But even at that, though, they have a lot of power. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go jump to another topic, because I've noticed there's this thing, and it's like a disease in our community, in our people. And when I say our people, I mean like everybody, like just America, period. And this is just me myself, I guess. And I would call it, you know, entitlement. And it's funny to me because, you know, you think, oh, entitlement, you know, you think, you know, rich, spoiled people, whatever, you know, spoiled kids, raised with a silver spoon in their mouth, they're entitled, you know. But the reality of it is more and more I see lately the mentality of entitlement, where you have like even down to homeless folks. You know, you can have homeless folks, man, that feel like, you know, you owe them something rather than you give them something. You know, I try to offer a few people some food before. I think I've said it before, but you know, try to offer them food on the streets and they just deny it, and you know, oh no, that's not what I want to eat. Hold up a second. You walking around out here with nothing, and what I got to give ain't good enough at that. Yeah, okay. And then you got, you know, your children and your kids and some people walking around. They feel like they just entitled, you know, like people don't feel like they have to work for anything no more. I really think that's one of the bad things that happened with COVID and everybody going in the house, was because, you know, they put everybody in the house and started getting everybody paychecks. And when they did that, all of a sudden people was like, oh, I can get money and not do nothing. And I guess that's just what, you know, where we at now. Everybody feel like, man, what happened to my paycheck? What makes you think you deserve something without having to put in any work? I've never understood that. Now, you know, I'm not the grandest or greatest of everybody, whatnot, whatever. But at the same time, too, though, I'm gonna work as hard as you, if not harder. So once I learn how to do something, I'm gonna keep going, and I know how to do it. Because once I know how to do it, you can't stop me. So just like this and everything else that I've done in my life, once I learn it, it's over with. I'm gonna do that, you know, as long as it's in God's will. You know, I used to do a lot of things outside of God's will, but you know what? He put a stop to that. But it is what it is. And then So I'm bringing all that up because I seen this story about a pizza delivery lady who delivered a pizza to a woman in a hotel. She got a $2 tip, and then she turned around and ended up stabbing the woman because of the $2 tip. Because I guess $2 tip wasn't enough for her. You know what I'm saying? But and it's beyond just that. It's more than that. You have all the folks out there that have this entitlement feeling like for some reason they deserve more. And that's the thing is none of us deserve nothing. That's why we should be appreciative of what we have because not none of us deserve a thing. And that's just me personally, how I truly feel about it. I thank God for every little blessing I've ever had because you don't deserve a thing. I don't deserve a thing. There's nothing I could have ever done to say that I deserve anything. So I am appreciative for everything that I've been given. But I'm gonna let you check this out though, because this to me it's funny, but it's not funny because it's stupid, just stupid.
Do want to head to a developing story that our Fox 35 Orlando team has been covering as a pizza delivery driver was arrested and taken to the Osceola County Jail after she's accused of stabbing a pregnant woman several times over a small tip. That is according to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. The 22-year-old was arrested Monday and faces charges of kidnapping, home invasion, and aggravated assault. She's also charged under the same statute that covers premeditated murder. Matt Trezza with our Fox 35 Orlando team has much more on that.
It came cold. My wings came cold. I personally am not going to tip anybody who is bringing my pizza late at an awkward time and my pizza is cold and at night, So I was already kind of getting confused. Like I already felt a little weird about it, but I didn't think anything of it. So when I got to the door, she seemed very sweet. She had her hair down. She didn't give me no hostile energy until I gave her the money to pay. Um, the pizza and like the order, it was about $33. I gave her two 20s and a 10. So I gave her $50. I'm expecting to receive like $17 change back, which I was going to give her a tip, like I do to everybody that delivers my food. But being that it came late, being that my food was cold, being that it was an awkward time frame, and as soon as I handed this woman the money, she walked away out the door, and my door was still cracked open because I'm expecting my change back. And she just tried to walk away. And I was like, this is how I said it. This is exactly how I said it. Hey girl, I need my change back. And she was like, oh, you need your change. Well, we don't offer change. So she ended up with a $2 tip, which I honestly felt like she didn't even deserve because my pizza was cold. It was super late. I was just like,
Now
she's
you see
already.
what I'm saying? That entitlement thing right here, where for some reason you thought you just was gonna walk off with that woman $17. I mean, what is wrong with you? And then talking about we don't offer change. How you know that is a lie. And for some reason, people think that that's their right, that they have the right to do such a thing, and it kills me. It cracks me up really. But we had a saying for stuff like this, and then just look at it. She sat there and she said, "Okay, well I gave her $2, and I really don't feel like I should have gave her that because truth is, you shouldn't have gave her nothing. Like really, she should have got the pizza for free. Whatever happened to 30 minutes or less, so you get it for free. Of course, that's a long old way back, I know. But still, what makes you think you just get to keep people money? And there's too many people I've seen out there like this. I done seen waitresses and servers, and I understand, I get it. There's a lot of people out there that don't tip. I get it. There's a lot of times, man, when I can't tip. You know what I mean? I'm not a rich man, so you come to my door and I had $40 to get the pizza and it's $39.50. Yeah, I keep the 50 cents, but that's all I got. You don't even know that's all I got. And then people, what you gonna do? Rob me? Cause I'm just as broke as you. But these people stupid. They stupid. Now, and then look at it. Look at this hotel. What about this hotel says these people got money? You know what I mean? I mean, realistically, there's nothing about this hotel says baller to me. You know, so I mean, you're gonna rob them, and for what? They might have a whole $100, $200 on it. You might get lucky and they got a rack, but even at that though, it's not worth the jail time for that. You know, when I was growing up, man, we used to call stuff like that crash dummy. That's just crash dummy. You a crash dummy. You doing something stupid like that, and now you going to jail. You done stabbed a woman up. You know what I mean? Pointing guns. You and your boyfriend. Your boyfriend's stupid, and then you stupid for listening. Because I bet you he put you up to it. And if he didn't put you up to it, and you put him up to it, both y'all stupid. But that's just stupid. And then you really think you have the right to claim that you deserve this money? Y'all people crazy, man. But she really did though. She stabbed this lady up. This lady, all talking about, you know what? Oh, hey, girl. Oh, man, she cracked me up with that because I'd have been like, man, you better get out my face with that. Move on. But, you know, I'm ignorant. But, yeah. But there's nothing about this that says that, you know what, that they got some money. There's not one. I would have pulled up and be like, yeah, I ain't getting no tip out of this one. And then anything I would have got, I would have been happy about it because I wouldn't have expected nothing. It just doesn't make no sense to me. People ignorant these days. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. Put it down in the comments. What would you have done? I mean, honest.
I didn't think anything of it. I was half asleep. You know, we had just ate. I woke back up. I opened the door. As soon as I opened the door was cracked. I cracked it open. As soon as I cracked it, she put her foot on the door. And both of their backs were facing me. I couldn't see their face. When I opened the door, they both had their backs towards me. And as soon as it opened, she kind of kicked the door with her foot and like rushed herself in. And they both just rushed in. And she locked the door behind her. Going on. No one said anything. I just said, I got my daughter. What is this? What's going on? They had ski mask on, so we could only see their eyes and their eyebrows, and like their body frame. But I could not. They were not recognizable at all. I was like, who are these people? What is going on? Like it just caught me by surprise. And once I realized the like severity of the situation, I'm like, oh my God, these people came in here to hurt us. As soon as he came in, he pointed the gun at me. Then he pointed it to my daughter and then quickly pointed it at my partner and told him that he needs to go into the restroom in the bathroom. He just complied, put his hands up and listened to the male, and he forced him into the bathroom where he put him in the tub. He told him to go stand in the bathtub. And
Now, I mean, what can you do in this situation, honestly? You find yourself in a situation where somebody done pulled a gun on you and your kid, you know, your spouse or your partner, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, they're lucky they didn't kill him in that bathroom, honestly. But you can watch the whole video. I'll put the links down in the descriptions like I always do. And you can watch it, and she even goes on at the end. Like, she's pretty tough through the whole little interview thing, but then at the end, you can tell she break down. It hits her. It was a situation. It's a dangerous situation, and she ended up in a situation where she had to fight, and she can only fight so much. There's only so much you can do. So thank God that they didn't die, and nothing happened to the kid. But people crazy. People just crazy. There's our world's going on tripping, and there's a lot of things going on right now that just don't make no sense. I mean, but people gonna try to take advantage. You got evil out there, and evil's gonna try to take advantage every time it can. I like I said before, I was not always a good guy or a decent guy, should I say. There is no such thing as a good guy, but at the same time too, though, I've seen evil, and you got to be careful because evil has no boundaries, and you got to be willing to fight to the death. it comes to those type of situations. But no matter what, you just take care of your family and watch them as we go into 2025, and do your best to make sure you and your family are okay. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to end this episode. And I want to thank y'all again for sitting here with us and spending your time, and we do appreciate you. All those that watch, I hope y'all do me the favor and like the video and share, and go ahead and check out the merchandise, and if you can, cop a piece too. It'll help us out, moving forward. Try and get better equipment and get better things going, and so a few pieces I need to put in place to get this going where we really need to go. And like I said before, try and get to 500 subscribes, and at 500 subscribes, we're gonna start doing a weekly live. That way I can get the rest of y'all. Y'all want to join in on a weekly episode live? You can leave your comments, get in the chats, and we can start moving forward. I appreciate y'all once again spending your time. Humble, not timid. Another voice, another choice.
Get mad at me, player, but they ain't taking my place. And I'm a misbreed, homie, so they hate my race. Or maybe I'm just ugly, so they hate my face. Either way it go, homie, take the hating away. Now I'm suited in my armor and I'm just ready to play. So now put me in coach, cause I'm just ready to